Hi, friends. Um, so this is Anastasia, and I want to tap with you on um, bringing in or inviting in an unexpected windfall. So we're going to tap with some frequency numbers, but first, I want to do a little share. This week, I worked with a colleague of mine, Nancy Zaire, and I do something from time to time called a healing series with Anastasia, where I showcase the different modalities that I do when I'm in session with people. So I like to just invite somebody on, and we we spend three little segments together over the course of 3 days during the week. And Nancy wanted to work on increasing her energetic vibe and calling in more paying clients. So that is what we focused on with her this week. And it reminded me of another healing series I did back in March with a friend, Melissa. Um, Interestingly enough, the topic of money was what we focused on for her as well. So I just want to recap what I did with her. Now, with Melissa, we did spend three um, times together. A lot of them were in the evening, and they went over, I like to keep them around the 20-minute mark, but she is a practitioner, and there was just a lot to talk about. So for almost all of them, we were around the 40-minute or 50-minute mark. And they're really interesting. If anyone is curious, let me know. I can put them in the comments and you can watch those. But basically, in the first segment with Melissa, we discovered that, she was the money issues for her, and for everyone, it's different. I totally understand that for most of us, we are needing and wanting more money in our lives. And I think that it's been like that for quite a while, but more recently, with prices increasing around a lot of different things, it is just a more heightened situation for everyone around the globe. So, when you talk about like the top two or three things that people are struggling with, I think money is always at the top of that list or in the group. Anyway, so back to Melissa. So with her money story was really kind of interesting. And I did spend some time with her before the first meeting to kind of tease out what was going on. And then we went further into it when we were together that first night. So for her, what was happening is she was noticing that she was getting unexpected bills and big bills. So things kind of coming out of nowhere. Um, and this was a repeating pattern. And so we looked at why was this happening and what could we release for her energetically around that so that didn't continue to happen. And let me just illustrate, there were three examples that she gave um, to give you an idea of unexpected and also big. So the first one, it was we were together in March, and so taxes were right around the corner in April. And so her tax person, said this is what you owe. So she knew that she owed money this year, but she wasn't expecting what they told her. So it was like more than what she was prepared for. So again, unexpected because she might have thought it was X and it was, I don't know, could have been like 4, 5, 6 times more. I'm not quite sure. Another thing that was really recent for her was she has a 2-year-old dog at the time. So 2-year-old dog. And there was something going on with the dog and brought it to the vet. And the vet said it's going to need surgery. And then they told her how much the surgery would be. So I forget what she said, but it could have easily been around the $4,000 or $5,000 mark for that. So again, an unexpected big bill. And then the other example she gave, and this was maybe a couple years ago, she had just bought a new car, and there was a hailstorm, and it completely wrecked the car. Like she said, it was almost at the point of being like they were going to total it, basically. And she had insurance, so she was covered. But again, these unexpected big bills coming in for her. So she and I, like I said, and you can go back and watch that if you're curious, but we kind of teased out what was going on energetically and we did some clearing work around that. And then on day 3, I did some frequency numbers for her. I gave her some frequency numbers to work with. And when I'm done sharing, which will be soon, I'm going to share that, one of those codes that I did with her, and we'll tap on that, see if it will help you. So after she and I worked together for the 3 segments, she reached out to me maybe 2 or 3 weeks after that, and she had told me that the people that she worked for had, noticed that she had been working really, really hard, was doing a fantastic job, and they basically gave her a raise, which is fantastic. So we did tap on unexpected windfall. So that was really lovely. I was really happy about that for her. And then she wrote back to me a couple weeks later and she said, you know what? I got a raise. I told you I got a raise, right? But she hadn't looked at her paycheck. So what she thought the raise was X, and it was actually 3 times that amount. So that was like another blessing. And I guess it's really the same windfall, but because she hadn't looked at, they just said, you got a raise. And she was like, yay. But when she looked at it like a month out, she was like, wow, it was triple what I initially thought. So that is fantastic. And then the other really cool thing, so again, she reached out to me like a couple weeks even after that and said, you know what? Turns out that the dog doesn't need to have the surgery. So I was like, yes. And not just because of the money, but, who wants to go through surgery, and let alone our animals? It's just, if you can avoid it, if it's at all possible, that is, for me, ideal. So her dog didn't need surgery. She didn't have this huge vet bill. And, not that I can never make any claims or promises when people come and do a session with me, but these are just some of the things that are possible when you, come and do a session to clear anything. In this particular case, we were focusing on money and clearing blocks around money. So this is what happened for Melissa. And again, I in no way, shape, or form can guarantee or predict what will happen. Sometimes people have a big shift in one session, and sometimes it takes multiple sessions to really work through some, I don't want to say complicated issues, but to really start to release some energy, some energetic patterning, some ancestral things, some limiting beliefs, how we feel about money, our relationship. And so sometimes it does take, more than one session to clear and then to see results. So I just want to put that out there in case anyone is curious about the work that I do and is interested in that. I do clearing for all sorts of things, and I also specifically can work with you on, money clearing. So that's my share. So happy for Melissa. I will keep in touch with Nancy because I'm curious to see what will come out of the work that we did this week for her regarding getting more clients. But here's the part where we tap, and this is for unexpected windfall. I'm going to say a series of numbers. I'm going to do 3 rounds, and you can tap along with me and say the numbers after me. And we're just going to tap right here on our chest while we do it. I just tap randomly. I don't tap per number, but you can. There's no right or wrong way to do this. So if you want to join me. And then you can do this as much as you want throughout the week. You can do it a couple times a day. You can do it once a day. And then I'll show you another really cool technique that you can do without tapping, but you can use the frequency numbers for this. All right, so here we go. So you can just say them out, say the numbers with what, after I say them. So following along. 9, 6, 8, 1, 2, 5, 7. There are some pauses, so when I pause, you'll have to pause too. 9, 6, 8, 1, 2, 257 and that's it. And I like to just take my hands and put them on my the heart area here. Take a nice deep breath in and out. It's good if you can to just take a little walk and integrate that. You don't have to walk outside, you can just walk in your home. Okay, so another really cool way to do the numbers is get a jar or glass of water. And what you would do is, so I wrote the numbers down here, and I would cut this out and basically tape the piece of paper to the bottle. And you want the numbers facing in towards the bottle. So what that does is the numbers and the vibration and the frequency of those numbers, which is for the unexpected windfall, is going to be infused in the water. And you want to let that sit for minimum of 2 hours. And then you can add this water to your drinking water. You can also just, if you want, just put the numbers on the bottom here and allow it to infuse up into the water. So with this, and I've shared this before, I have this that I bought and it's got stones here at the bottom. So these stones are infusing their energetic properties into the water as well, which is really quite beautiful. But you don't have to get anything like this. You can just have a regular jar or a glass, tape the numbers here, and let the numbers do their magic. And I know that that may sound like, are you kidding? You're slopping some numbers on a glass of water and you're expecting whatever you're expecting. So there is, if you want to, go online, there is a gentleman named Dr. Emoto. He is passed on, but he was a Japanese scientist and he studied water under microscope. And what he did is he studied when people talked to the water. When they told the water they loved it, the crystals would change shape. And when they said, I hate you, or, if they were just unkind to the water, then those water crystals, well, they look really gross, to be honest. It looks muddy and yucky and very distorted. And when people were doing the experiment and saying, I love you or thank you, those crystals, they look like snowflakes. I mean, they are just gorgeous and shiny. So there is something to what we put out into the universe, what we say is being captured almost. And so when we are saying something or adding a frequency to the water is picking it up and taking it on and actually it's being electrified almost with the vibration. It's being imbued. I'm having a little trouble expressing myself exactly the way I want to around that, but you'll have to see the pictures because they're quite beautiful. And we are 78 to 85% water. And so when we talk to ourselves and our cells, whatever we're saying, because we're water, we're taking that on. So if we have a negative thought, we're definitely talking to the cells and the water cells in our body. So we want to be as positive as possible. And at the same time, being real. I'm all about being real, not being fake. So if you're feeling angry, sad, upset, you need to feel that and let that flow out. But anyway, that's how this works. And one more thing that I will share, a friend of mine also works with quantum frequency numbers, and she gave me 3 numbers to work with for myself. So she has like a different set of numbers that I have. And one of the number she gave me was to improve an eye injury. And she gave me 3 numbers. So on a different bottle of water, I have those 3 numbers that are taped to my jar. So when she gave me the information, and it specifically said for an eye injury, and I have not experienced an eye injury, but my eyesight, as far as like when I'm reading so close up, has started to get a little fuzzy. And especially with small print. And I know as you get older that does change. But I will say that since I've put those numbers on my water bottle, my eyesight has started to get better. And that is no joke. I wouldn't say that. I haven't even shared that with my friend. So if you're listening, Wendy, that number's working. And she just tuned in to see like what I needed. And this, was one of the number frequencies that I needed. And I'm very, very grateful. Because I wasn't tapping with the numbers, even though she gave them to me. I just put them on my water bottle and I was like, let's see what happens. And my eyesight is improving. So this does work. I don't even honestly think you have to believe in it for it to work. You just have to be open to it for it to work. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for letting me share Melissa's story and her success. And thank you for letting me share the unexpected windfall number. I hope that you use it. If nothing else, slap it on a bottle of water, let it sit for 2 hours, and you can do that for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Just keep refilling it when it goes down, and then let me know if anything happens. I'm curious. I'm really curious, and I'm hoping that you guys are able to bring in abundance without trying so hard. We all deserve to be taken care of and to have our needs met and for it not to be so hard. And it's really lovely when we get gifts from the universe or friends or family or strangers, when we just get unexpected money coming our way, even if it's $5 or $10, something to be grateful for. Even when it's a $20 bill that we might find on the ground, something to be grateful for. So I wish that all for you. Keep me posted. Let me know if anything magical happens. See you next time.